Hallo alle, heute lernen wir das Präteritum, the or in English that's called the Preterite or simple past. Auf Deutsch haben wir drei andere Verbtypen, three different types of verbs. We have schwaches Verben, which are weak verbs, and then we have unregelmäßiges Verben, which are irregular verbs, which are also considered weak. And then we have starkes Verben, which are strong verbs. The weak verbs, they don't take on change. They can't handle change, is what our Dr. Blessing teaches us. And so with those, they're not going to change in the stem when they go through changes. So when they conjugate in the present, past, they don't change that stem. The irregular, regelmäßiges, those, they don't change in the present typically. There's a few exceptions, but overall they're still considered weak. But in the preterite, they often do go through changes. Then we have the starkes Verben, which are the strong verbs. Those ones can handle change, so they're going to change in the present and the past. And often in the present, they're going to only change in certain regions or in certain declensions for that noun. So let's start with the weak verbs on how you're going to change that into preterite. So I'm going to just bring some examples and kind of explain as we go. So with the verb sagen, which is to say, it is a weak verb, so it's going to keep that same stem throughout. So what you're going to do, sagen is our infinitive, so that means to say. When we're changing it to be with a noun, we're going to take away that to, much like we do in English. So we're going to take away the en, so it's just going to be at zag, and then we're going to add a te to make it into the preterite, so sagte. So for example, if you're saying I said, you would say ich sagte. If you said you said, du sagtest. Sie es sagte, which is a weird one. Sie es in the past tense, what's the word I'm looking for? It it mimics the ich form. So first person singular and third person singular are going to be the same, much like in the present, how you have first person plural and first person or third person plural also matching. So in the past, first person and third person are going to match each other. So ich sagte, du sagtest, sie es sagte. Then we have wir sagten, ihr sagtet, and then sie sagten. So you can kind of see how it really layers itself and has the same on the top and bottom, and then it's the two differences between the second person singular and plural in the middle, kind of like a peanut butter jelly sandwich. I just thought of that. Anyways, then we also have the ehren verbs, the like studieren, which is to study. So with that, you're going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to take ich studierte. Studier is the stem. So ich studierte, du studiertest, sie es studierte, wir studierten, ihr studiertet, sie studierten. And then we have, so those are going to be the same. They're considered weak verbs. Let's move on to the irregular weak verbs. So first we're going to look at the verb denken, which is to think. With this, we're going to take it which it's weird because like in the present, it's all the same. Ich denke, du denkst. Sie es denkt. Wir denken. Ihr denkt. Sie denken. So I mean, you don't have a stem change in that. It doesn't go through that change. But when you have it in the preterite, we go through a massive stem change. So that denk becomes dach, D-A-C-H. The way I like to think about this one is like in English, we have I think, and then in the past we say I thought. So it's kind of that same same concept really. So let's go through that table again. So we have ich dachte. So we're still using that te verb ending for the preterite. Du dachtest, sie es dachte. See how it still matches. And then we have wir dachten. So ich dachte, du dachtest, sie es dachten. Sie es dachte. Wir dachten, ihr dachtet, and wir dachten. And once again, it's still staying the same. Another one that is considered a weak verb, but it's irregular, is the verb haben, which is to have. This one's a little weird because in the presence, it's kind of weird. It goes through some changes with what Dr. Blessing calls the shoe verbs. Because in the hill, the second person and third person singulars, they go through a small, slight stem change. So ich habe, du hast, we get rid of that B. Sie es hat, get rid of that B. Wir haben, ihr habt. Sie haben. So in the past tense and preterite, and I'm using this one because it is a common one that we look at a lot, you would use ich hatte, so we're going to change that stem to hat, and then we're going to add an extra te. So ich hatte, du hattest, sie es hatte, wir hatten, ihr hattet, and sie hatten. So those are those irregular weak nouns, or verbs. Now, let's look at the strong verbs. Starkes Verben, or starken Verben. Whoops, I've been using the wrong endings there. Starken Verben. So first we're going to look at the verb sehen, to see. For that, we're going to completely change the stem. We're going to change the SEH, so ze, to za, SAH. And we're not going to use the TE ending. We're going to just simply add the E, the ET, or the T, and so on and so forth. So, ich sah, or wait, no, we're not even going to add the E or the, we're not even going to add the E or the anything like that. We're going to change it up a little bit here. So for sehen, we're going to use the stem of za. So, ich sah. SAH. And then we have du sahst. So we're still using that ST ending there. We're going to just keep the za stem. And then we have sie es sah. Once again, we're not adding an E, we're not adding a T. Wir sahen, we're adding that EN. And then we have ihr saht, we're using a T that time. And then sie sahen, so adding that EN. And then another one that is considered strong, but is one that we use a lot, is the verb sein, which is to be. This one goes through a wacky change, and I use wacky because it reminds me to go to a W. So sein goes to war, so W-A-R, wacky var. So ich war, du warst, sie es war, wir waren, ihr wart, and sie waren. So we're keeping that WAR stem and adding the respective endings. So I hope this answers the questions, or I hope this goes over the preterite forms of different verbs, whether they're weak, irregular, or strong. It's one of those things where you do have to learn each verb with what it is to know how to conjugate it. What's great about dictionaries is that it does have that information in there. Usually it'll give you a little snippet of one of those conjugations to give you that perfect clue. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed and have a great day. Cheers.